wish it's some music.
So like to me, I look like a class.
Okay.
Are they all sick?
Why does it look like that? Oh. That gotta be fake.
It's like does not hit your mouth when you spit.
What a wonderful.
All right. So that is what it looks like when you sneeze and not cover your mouth.
Dang
So
it.
when you sneeze, when Troy sneezes, going all over the back of his neck right here, you don't cover your mouth. Right. So we're gonna start a unit on communicable diseases. That's one of them words we was talking about the other day. I struggled saying communicable. All right. So we're gonna talk about what they are, and we're gonna talk about how to prevent them and how they spread. All right. So our objectives: students will be able to name some causes of communicable diseases, and you'll be able to explain how germs will spread and describe how to protect yourself against pathogens. All right, some common diseases. One of the most common is a cold. And all right, so let's talk about what are communicable diseases. They're diseases that spread from one living thing to another through the environment. So, like you said, a sneeze. It's going from your living thing, to somebody else. All right. What it does is it interferes with the proper function of the body or mind. So it could cause you not to feel good. Could cause you not to be able to function during basketball game, Troy. It could cause you not to be able to perform your best during basketball games. It just has you off your game a little bit. All right. All right. Then we're going to talk about pathogens. Pathogens are also known as germs. So you can basically replace that word with germs. All right. And what are they? They're disease-causing organisms that are small, so small they can only be seen through a microscope. So we can't see germs. We can't feel them. They're so small, you have to look at them through a microscope. That's why it's important to prevent this. All right. All right. And germs can cause infections. Infections are a condition that occurs when pathogens enter the body, multiply and cause harms. So what would you think would be the easiest way to catch an infection?
Cuts.
Feet. Cut. An open wound, right? So if you don't have an open wound covered, I can contact right here, and I can give my his germs right here can go inside me and get inside my body. That can cause you to get very sick and all that. All right. So we're going to talk about some more types. All right. So we got viruses. Viruses can cause common diseases such as cold and flu. They're the smallest pathogens. All right. And we're going to talk about bacteria. Bacteria that live in your digestive tract help you digest food. So that's good bacteria because it helps break down the food you're eating because we know that food's not healthy. I'm sure y'all had what y'all have on the pizza bar today? How many of you ate pizza? Alright. Bacteria are tiny celled organisms. Alright. We're going to talk about some bacteria that are harmful to you. Alright. Fungi are a type of bacteria that are harmful. They are primitive life forms that feed on organic materials. Alright. And then fungi are organisms that are more complex than bacteria but cannot make their own food. Alright? So right here we have ringworm. Ugh. And we have athlete's foot. Alright? So what can cause you to get athlete's foot?
Putting your feet in putting your shoes. Wait, putting your feet in other
Put your
people's
socks
shoes.
like, don't wear socks.
Not wearing socks because your feet sweat. Not washing your feet. What else?
Putting your feet in someone else's shoes.
Wearing other people's shoes. Feet.
Going to the bowling alley?
Going to the bowling alley. Yep, that's you better be sure you wear socks when you go bowling.
If you wear other people's socks.
Yes. Socks are dirty, they got their germs on them. That. Alright, malaria. Malaria is a disease that is caused by a protozoa that can live in mosquitoes. Protozoa is a single-celled organism that are more complex than bacteria. Alright, and these are just some types of bacteria, viruses, and fungi, and protozoa. So bacteria, we got like pink eye. How many of you ever had pink eye? That's pretty common. You can catch that very easily. And you got whooping cough, strep throat. Pretty sure everybody in here probably almost had strep throat, right? You got tuberculosis. There's the viruses. Everybody's had a cold in here. I know everybody has. You got hepatitis, chickenpox, measles. Alright, I ain't heard anybody catch chickenpox. Is that?
My brother
It's
had
very
it.
rare now because most of these kids have been vaccinated. Vaccines, I think, started around the year 1996.
But it used to be pretty.
Yes.
My brother had it.
I had it whenever I was a kid.
And he just sat there like he was.
It's very rare. You don't hear of it like you used to when I was a kid.
You got fungi, athlete's foot, and ringworm. And you got protozoa, embryonic, malaria. Alright. So how do they spread? How do germs spread? Number one reason is what?
Hands.
Contact with others. Contact with others. How many times a day do you touch your friend? Bunch. I know you can't keep your hands off each other. Look, Miss Maddox saying one of y'all. Alright? So that goes to shaking somebody's hand, meeting them, patting somebody on the back. I mean, any contact with another person. That's one of the big reasons how they spread. You got indirect contact with others. That's like we're watching a video. You sneeze, that's getting your germs on somebody else.
And FYI, when you sneeze, you're sneezing at over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, so if
So
you.
you don't see all that phlegm and mucus and things coming out because it's going so fast.
Somebody told me if you sneeze with your eyes open, they'll fall out.
That's a whole lot.
Alright, we got contaminated food and water. Alright, so this is a big problem we have sometimes is contaminated food. So that's why packages come wrapped. And you see the meat people, they got gloves on. If food's not cooked, it can have a lot of germs in it. That's why it's important that you wash the food off before you cook it, and then the heat will get a lot of the germs off. But that's why packages are wrapped like that. And you got food recalled all the time. I mean, that's why you need to pay attention to the news and there's stuff like you got peanut butter. There's all kind of food that can get contaminated.
Several years ago, when I first started teaching at the junior high, my daughter got very, very ill. So bad that, she had to go to the doctor and see what was going on. At first we thought it was a stomach virus, but then it went on to where she was having other symptoms that were not typical of a normal stomach virus for a child. So there were some tests done, and about a week later, I get a call at work from the CDC. If you don't know, that stands for the Center for Disease Control. And what she had was something called Campylobacter, which is a bacteria that is spread through undercooked chicken, mostly. They asked me a lot of questions. Where had we eaten out? And we don't eat out much, but we had, in that time, pretty recent, had eaten out. I would not disclose the name of the restaurant because things happen. And what they do is when they get all that data from where you've eaten and things like that, is they try to pinpoint where that foodborne illness comes from. Because Campylobacter is one of the deadly foodborne illnesses that young children and the elderly can have. But anyway, that was a scary time because we get a call from the CDC. Hi, this is so-and-so from the Centers for Disease Control. You're like, okay. But you just have to be careful about cooking your food thoroughly, using proper techniques, washing your hands, things like that. When you eat out, check to make sure your food is cooked. If it's not, send it back politely and say, my chicken's not cooked through, and things like that. Anyway, that's just a little short story I had for
I feel like
our experience.
chicken is one of the, to me, I feel like,
Salmonella,
yeah.
never heard of Campylobacter until that year. But there's a lot of things that can happen with undercooked foods.
Alright, we also have, germs can spread through animals or insects. So, what we got, like West Nile disease, what some other bacteria, Ebola. I mean, insects carry diseases. So I think on you, don't let them get hold of you. Or if like one bites you, you probably need to go get checked out, just to make sure. I mean, if it starts swelling or getting red, they can carry diseases. They can kill you. So you need to see the right medical treatment if that happens. Alright, and then a germ-carrying mosquito is an example of a vector. A vector is an organism such as insects that are transmitted pathogens. So basically what that's saying is a vector, an insect that carries a disease is called a vector. Alright, so practicing good personal hygiene is a good way to keep pathogens from spreading. So that includes washing your hands, taking a shower in the morning, at night, just being clean, having clean hygiene. Especially you boys at football practice. How many germs do you think you get through a day practicing football?
12,000.
Take your stuff home and wash it. I know you don't, Pete. I know you don't take your stuff home and wash it every day. You better have Coach Horn washes it for you.
Yeah, we do. Every
Alright.
Wednesday.
Alright, avoid close contact with people infected with a communicable disease, especially if they are still contagious. So, what's the best thing if you are having, if you are sick? What's the best thing for you to do?
Stay home.
Stay home. Stay away from people. You can get people sick coming here. You know, you don't want to miss school, but that's the biggest thing is staying away from people, having direct contact with people. All right, I know this. All y'all do this. Share drinks and eating utensils. How many of you share drinks? All of you share drinks with your friends, don't you?
Alright,
You got-
now, keep those hands raised. How many of you waterfall drinks? That's what I thought.
The same thing.
Same thing, guys.
Because Pete's lips are hitting that water, his propel. So Pete took a drink out of it. His backwash is going in there.
I don't like
And everybody backwashes. And then I do this right here. I'm drinking his backwash. Nasty.
No, never.
The waterfall is
Waterfall.
not an effective way to prevent spreading sickness.
Just as bad as drinking right after
What if
bite.
you do this? Okay? So what if you get one and then like you buy it and you get it and you waterfall it and someone else?
You mean no one's lips have ever touched it? Maybe.
Why would you waterfall your own drink?
I don't know. I'm just making.
I do that.
What about
Waterfall.
the ball? What about the bottles they use, like the squirt ball?
The squirt bottles?
Yeah.
Well, as long as you're not making contact with it. Like, so that, if you, now people take the tops off and put their lips on it, won't they? That's got backwash going in it. So even if you squirt it then, you're getting their bacteria.
That's why if you open one, you gotta drink the rest.
That's why when you see guys on a football team taking the tops off, you can tell them, hey, don't do that, man. Or I wouldn't drink that water bottle. Coach G? Yeah. You let them have their own.
Speaking of sports, and I know this happens every year, a lot of guys wind up with either staph infections or
Yep.
impetigo. Guys, that's bacteria that's been spread from either not doing your laundry regularly or touching another infected person who's got those that bacterial infection. I know impetigo was going around just a few weeks ago. Staph is just it's a fancy word for infection. It's a type of bacteria that can cause open sores on the skin, on the face. Typically with the athletes, it's under the arms or in the groin area, where they sweat a lot. Because bacteria love a warm, moist environment, and the armpits and that groin area is the best place for it to attack. But impetigo can be anywhere. It can be on the face, the legs, arms. But yeah, guys, keep that laundry clean.
When I was in high school, I played football, basketball, and baseball. So I mean, I was on the practice field or working out all the time. I caught one year I caught staph from during football season. But I took my stuff home, washed it every day, so it still happened. Cause I didn't like it for the stink, but I cut it on my arm right here. So I had to keep it covered and keep it treated. You know, the doctor gave me some ointment put on it, and it eventually healed itself. But the other thing I caught was scabies in the weight room. Scabies is basically like lice, but on your body. So
Mite.
yeah, bunch of
I'm going to use this term, but we typically call it the mange on animals. The mange is caused by mite, that scabies that get up under the skin and it eats the skin. And it is something that is spread, and especially direct contact, in weight rooms, gym rooms, locker rooms, things like that. It's just something that's very common, that and lice.
I caught that in the weight room. It was during some workouts. God, I didn't know I was infected, but I was all the time just itching and had red bumps on me. So I went to the doctor, and again, they gave me I think it was some pills and some cream to put on. But we had to, the house I grew up in, it had a downstairs and upstairs. We had to bomb the whole downstairs, because that's where my room was, to get rid of, because it was on, you had to wash bed sheets, we had to set off bombs, nobody could be in the house for half the day. That's how much they spread and just infected. And I wasn't 16 at the time, I think I was like 15 years old. So the guy that was on the team that took me home wound up catching it like a week later. So I gave it to him. I mean, that just tells you how it spreads. And all I did was ride in his car. You know, we didn't share no food or drink. It was just me sitting in the passenger seat and he caught it. So that's how quickly stuff like that spreads. So it's important to have clean, I mean, and you can catch it from, I mean, you can be the cleanest person, take a shower twice a day and everything and still get it. So just because somebody has that, I mean, I know we said staph a while ago, and y'all are looking like, or y'all were saying somebody's name, acting like it could happen to somebody very clean. It could happen to you, even though you. Like
My daughter's gotten it from school before, and once kids are probably less likely to wash their hands than you older kids, but she got it a few years ago from school, so it's not associated with being dirty or anything. It's just something when you're in areas that are highly populated with your peers, you're more likely to catch things. Just how it is.
School's probably the dirtiest place. Probably the dirtiest place. Alright. So you go to a friend's house, you forgot your toothbrush. How many of you run hot water and just use your friend's toothbrush?
Never did that.
That's true.
I know y'all did that before.
Oh, I'd rather go without brushing my teeth than use somebody else's toothbrush.
I would use my finger.
When I went to, I had a friend's house. I went to his house every weekend. I had my own toothbrush there, and at my house we kept an extra toothbrush in case somebody needed one. So that's just some stuff you could do too. Always have an extra toothbrush. You never know
What about
who's gonna need it.
phone?
Phone deodorant. I don't know about deodorant.
I wouldn't share deodorant.
If it's spray deodorant, yes, but anything that is touching the skin, I would not share. I know a lot of you.
What about family?
Nope.
Whoa.
Just
Don't share a brush, a toothbrush,
I don't have a
deodorant,
brush.
anything like that. Don't share your hygiene products, period.
So not a brush?
No.
some
Now it's
sprinkle
different
on.
probably in your family bathroom. But I wouldn't like some guys carry their comb in their pocket. I wouldn't hand it over to Haley and say, Haley, you can comb your hair. You don't share with people outside of your family as far as a hairbrush. Inside the family, it's probably not a problem.
Alright, so number one, the best way to do this is keep your hands washed, because your hands touch everything. Alright, so should we wash our hands in cold or warm water? Warm water. Warm water helps kill bacteria. That's why, like when you cook something, that kills bacteria. It cooks it out of there. Alright, so the first step is gonna be to wet your hands. So don't go over there, use the bathroom and pump the soap first. You need to wet your hands first. Then get the soap, lather them for how many seconds? 20 seconds. Then rinse for 10, and then turn it off. Dry your hands. When you dry your hands, so a lot of times you got the air dryers now, but what do you need to do with the paper towel if you got a paper towel when you leave it?
Turn the water on.
Turn it off with it and grab what else when you're leaving it? The door. If there ain't no trash can by, I usually just stick it in my pocket and wait till I see a trash can. Because to me, they say though that the handle on the toilet and the doors, because it's it's supposed to be cleaner, but I don't trust it either. So
and I don't trust the dryers. the
Yeah, I don't-
dryer.
I'd rather have paper
Anything
towels.
that's blowing things around in there and likely to stir things up, I don't want a part of it. I would much rather have
me
paper
too.
towels.
And then some places got the thing on the door where you can put your foot on to open it. I like that. Right? That to me, that's the cleanest. All right. So how many seconds total are you supposed to wash hands? 30. 10. 10 with the soap. 10 rinse. 30 seconds. 20 with the soap. 10 rinse. 20 plus 10. 30. Oh, 30. My bad. All right. So the best thing you do is avoid touching your mouth, nose, eyes. Do not bite your nails. I know a lot of bite your nails. Or another thing is, how many sit here and chew on your pencil during class? Or bite the top? How many times did your pencil fall off and hit the ground? And my shoes walking on this ground where I just walked in the bathroom. So, do not keep things out of your mouth. Food, the only thing that needs to go in your mouth.
And toothbrush.
And toothbrush. But
And mouthwash.
so what's some things you can do? What'd you say? What'd you say? Toothbrush? Oh, mouthwash. Bite your nails. I mean, look at your nails right now. I bet some of you probably got dirt on your fingernails. You probably got some dirt throughout the day.
I bite mine.
Girl, you look, you probably painted them, so you can't tell you got dirt on there. But you bite your nails, you need to cut them. Don't bite your nails.
You can see mine?
You can see mine if you want.
Oh, sorry.
Is there dirt on my house? Yeah, there's tons of dirt.
You got nose. How many little kids do you know that pick their nose?
I got a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
Yes, she said. I don't know a lot.
You get grown. I mean, you don't see too many grown people pick their nose, but kids.
I did it when I was little.
Come on, Pete. All right. So, how to keep them from spreading? Handle and prepare food safely. We talked about that earlier, especially fish and chicken, I would say are the two biggest. And then wash vegetables and cook meat thoroughly. So how many times have you been helping your mom cook in the kitchen or grandmother, and you see them wash the chicken before they cook it? Or wash the potatoes, that's getting germs off of there. That's something you should
Or
do.
they tell you to wash your hands before you come in.
Wash your hands. That's the biggest thing. Wash your hands before you touch the food, too. And okay, so I'm putting this on the grill or in the oven, whatever. What should I do after I touch that?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, because that's got germs on it. That if you, that could possibly kill you if you were to pick up a piece of, I don't know, you got bread for an appetizer and you eat that. And you're there licking your fingers, or even touches the bread and gets on you. That could cause harm. All right. After that stuff's on the counter, what you need to do? Spin on the counter.
Wash your counter.
Wash the counter. Wipe it down. Get some Clorox wipes. I know we use them a lot in my house. Clorox wipes are real good. And then you want to wash your. Now I know this is a lot of you probably do this in your house. How many times y'all use that rag in the sink before y'all wash it? I know at my house, so we probably don't wash it enough. You know, you wash dishes and you lay it back down, you may use it next time. You need to get a new rag every time. You should wash that rag every time, because that's got all kinds of germs on it. And then it's just sitting there in the open air for 2 days and you don't wash nothing. What? Or the sponge, same thing. You should replace your sponge too. I know you a lot of
Things
people,
are expensive though.
you will be sick or spend money. Alright. Keep your environment clean, empty the trash frequently, and keep trash cans clean. So when your parents tell you to take the trash out, what do you need to do?
Not do it.
Take the trash out. All that right there, all that's going in the air, especially food. Food that has been left over, or there's just a little bit left, not enough to put back in the refrigerator, and you just throw that in the trash can. Number one, it's gonna have your house stinking. Number two, that's gonna release all kinds of germs in the air. And you need to, so you got the trash bag, you need to keep the inside of your trash can clean too. So about once a month, you need to go rinse it out, soap, wash it. Alright, if you're ill, stay at home, we talked about that earlier, and avoid contact with others. That's probably the biggest thing, is just direct contact is probably how most germs spread. It's how most germs spread, is direct contact. When you sneeze, cover your mouth, nose, turn your head away from others, and wash your hands right away. So when you sneeze, you need to go in your jacket, turn around back here, don't go towards your neighbor. Alright? Don't share, talk about that, especially personal items. Alright? If a healthcare professional prescribes you medicine, you need to take the amount they prescribe you. So if they tell you 2 pills every 6 hours or 8 hours, however many hours, that's what you need to do. You don't need to take more or no less.
And I want to add to that too, like with antibiotics, we have created antibiotic resistant bacteria. You hear about MRSA and things like that. It's because we abuse these medications the doctors prescribe for us. So if that medication says take 3 times a day for 10 days or until medicine is gone, you follow those directions. Because after 3 days and you're feeling better and you stop taking that medicine, that bacteria could have very well mutated. Once it starts going through mitosis, it can mutate. Their DNA changes. And the next time you get that sickness, it may take a different kind of medicine, or to take the medicine even longer before it will help you. Because we're creating these superbugs by not following the directions.
I know a lot of them say take some empty.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and just, biggest thing, how many times has this PowerPoint said wash your hands? So, this is gonna be the most important thing, is wash your hands. Matt, you got anything else?
I don't understand.